I don't know about you, but perhaps one of the toughest lessons that I've had to learn as I've gotten older is to pay more attention to what's in my circle of influence and control and not worry about the things that are outside of those circles. See, I, like probably most people and most leaders of organizations, there's a lot of things that fall within that circle of my concern. There's a lot of things I look at and I see problems and I see issues with, and I want to fix it. I'm a natural fixer. But I've had to realize at times that those are not my problems to fix, for one thing, but also that the problem that I want to fix may not even be anything that I can control. That it is up to others to fix that issue. Or it may even be something that doesn't really impact me at all, other than me having concern about what the situation is going to do for the livelihood of other people and organizations and things of that nature. And matter of fact, what's made it difficult is that, or even really a necessity for me to change on, is that I lost a lot of sleep because of that. And there was a lot of stress related to that because I saw an issue and I felt like I needed to correct it. But as I've grown older, I've had to really adjust how I do things and how I view things and really pay a significantly more amount of time in my circle of influence and control. In other words, those things that I'm concerned about or care about, but only focus on the things that I can ultimately influence and have some decision over. And everything else that I don't have control over, just to let it fall to the wayside and let whatever happens, happens. That's a tough thing to do at times. And I see the same thing in our organizations whenever I talk to executives and other individuals who lead our companies and stuff out there. Sometimes they get focused on things that's really not within their area of control, and they try to control it, but they neglect to really pay attention to what they can control. As a matter of fact, I was reading something earlier, and this person was, expressing frustration about their organization had lost some of their people to actually some of the organizations that are their clients. So in other words, their clients had more or less stolen or poached or lured some of their employees away from them to go work with the people that were their clients. And with that, the conversation kind of went in the direction of, well, what can we do in the contract to basically put some financial penalties or prohibiting guidelines there, keeping these people from taking our team members. And I understand that frustration. I mean, we all know how costly it is to replace key talent, but there's two ways to look at this. One is an area of concern, and you can look at it through the context of what can we do to others to influence their behaviors and prevent them or encourage them to do certain things. But ultimately, at the end of the day, people are going to do what they do. And there's very little that we can do to stop that, regardless of language we use in contracts or anything else. So that's outside of our control. On the other side of it, from an organizational standpoint, we can look at it, okay, well, what is it that's allowing our people to willingly choose to leave our organization and go to others? What's swaying them to depart from us? What's tempting that the other entity has that we don't have? And see, that's the things that we can control, because as an executive, you can control your work culture, you can control your workplace, and you can control the factors that either draw people to you as a workplace and keep them loyal and keep them staying in position with you, or you can ignore that and let them ride off into the sunset. I think most times when we look at it, we would get a far more bang for our buck if we focus in on what can we do within our organizations to make it a workplace that people don't want to leave. It's kind of like a relationship, husband and wife or whatever. If you have two people that are committed to each other and determined, it doesn't matter what the other attractions are out there. If they enjoy and they like and they benefit from their relationship, there's nothing that nobody else can do to tempt them to cheat, because they're not going to do it. It's the same thing in our workplaces. But a lot of times, executives, we want to solve problems that we have no control over, instead of looking at what that we do have that can very easily contribute to that. So in your organization, what are you focused on? Are you focused on things outside of your control, or are you focusing on those things that you can control and influence?